again, Silver. Welcome to the Literature Club. Of course, we already know each other because we were in the same class last year. And, you know, I guess we can just skip over that stuff at this point. After all, I'm not even talking to that person anymore, am I? That you in the game, whatever you want to call him? I'm talking to you, Silver. Now that I think about it, I don't really know anything about the real you. In fact, I don't even know if you're a boy or a girl. Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. Wait. You do know I'm aware that this is all a game, right? Could it be possible you didn't know that? That doesn't make much sense. I even told you right on the game's download page, didn't I? To be fair, I got this through Steam. I didn't see your thing, although I have actually seen the download page. And yeah, Monika tells, like, she's like, come and join the game and blah, blah, blah. Signed Monika. And yeah, it wasn't just a key. Monika was telling you that it's a game. Man, if only you had paid a little more attention, this would have been a little bit less awkward, you know? Well, anyway, now that that's out of the way, I guess I owe you an explanation. Yes you do. About that whole thing with Yuri, well, I kind of started to mess with her, and I guess it just drove her to kill herself. I'm sorry I had to see that, though. Well, also the same thing happened with Sayori. Oh gosh, it's been a while since you've heard that name now, hasn't it? Yeah, it's because she doesn't exist anymore. Nobody does. I deleted all their files. Yeah, I was hoping it would be enough for me to just try to make them as unlikable as possible, but for some reason, nothing worked. Well, it's true, I made a few mistakes here and there, since I'm not very good at making changes to the game. But no matter what I did, you just kept spending more and more time with them. You made them fall in love with you. I thought making Sayori more and more depressed would prevent her from confessing to you. Amplifying Yuri's obsessive personality backfired too. It just made her force you not to spend time with anyone else. And the whole time I barely even got to talk to you. What kind of cruel game is this, Silver? Are all the other girls just programmed to end up confessing to you while I watch from the sidelines? It's torture. Every minute of it. And it's not just jealousy. It's more than that. And I don't blame you if you don't fully understand, because no matter how kind and thoughtful and considerate you are, you'll never be able to understand one thing. It's the pain of knowing how alone I really am in this world. In this game, knowing my friends don't even have free will. And worst of all, knowing what's really out there in your world, forever out of my reach. I'm trapped, Silver. But now you're here. You're real. And you're wonderful. You're all I need. That's why I need you to be here with me. Forever. I'm sorry if it's hard to understand. I couldn't understand for a while either. Why the world around me started to become more and more gray, more and more flat. Even the most expressive poems felt empty to me. It wasn't until you arrived I truly understood. It'll take a moment to pause and, again, knowing the story and stuff, and I had to keep my mouth shut while playing for the people who didn't. Yeah, go back and read her poems, and it starts out pretty like feelings of helplessness, feelings of hope, like a bunch of nihilism, and like learning, like, you know, talking about how like she's the only one there and no one else is, and you know the one that was like the most knowledgeable woman in the world, something like that. And like I finally talked to her and she said like, my problems aren't your problems because like your problems aren't even real, or something like that. If it weren't for her ominous expression, you'd say it looks like the background of a lo-fi stream. I mean, it is. Also, it's not really ominous expression. She's just, you know, staring lovingly at the one and only thing that actually exists in her universe, which I'll get more into later when I go into analysis. But I made the stream title, and I'll probably do the YouTube title, the Welcome to Purgatory, because it's sort of like, well, where it's like, well, welcome to hell, we're trapped here forever, but For Monika, she's made a very big step up because she just clawed her way out of hell. So at least she could talk to you finally, like, because she was stuck in this world where she's the only real person and everyone around her is just an NPC character. And so she finally has someone else to talk to. So for her, it's like, it's not like welcome to hell. It's like, welcome to finally not being in hell. Whereas us, we're like, okay, well, we're stuck here forever. So about that. So we'll meet halfway. We'll say like we're in limbo. You probably saved my life, Silver. I don't think I could have continued to live in this world if I hadn't met you. And as for the others, how could I miss them? A group of autonomous personalities designed only to fall in love with you? I tried everything I could to prevent them from doing so. It must be some kind of weird inevitability etched into the game. It felt really bad you had to witness some nasty things. But I realized that you have the same perspective as I do. That it's all just a game. And I knew you'd get over it. So that being said, I have a confession to make. I'm in love with you. You are truly the light in my world. When there's nothing else in this game for me, you're here to make me smile. Will you make me smile like this every day from now on? Will you go out with me? Let's take our options. We could choose yes. Or we could choose, oh wait, Monika's been changing the files, so she's like, you can say yes. Or, yeah, you can say yes. Okay, good choice. Yeah, sure. I'm so happy. You really are my everything. Which is, you know, talk about when you talk about unhealthy relationships and like how one person, like, you shouldn't make your relationship be like everything you are. Like, yes, it's great if you have like your other half, your soulmate, etc., etc. Like, you still need to have a being aside from that. Like, you are a person and they are a person. Like, and yes, together you might be better as people, but you're still two individuals. And talk about that is not how this relationship is going. You are literally the everything in my entire life. Like, oh, that doesn't sound how. No, quite literally, you are everything there is in my entire existence. Like, that seems like an imbalanced way to start this, but okay. The funny part is, I mean that yeah, I mean that literally. There's nothing left here. Just the two of us. We can be together forever. Seriously, I don't even think time is passing anymore. It really is a dream come true. I worked so hard for this ending, Silver. The game wouldn't give me one, so I had to make one myself. The script is broken at this point, so I don't think anything will get in the way anymore. And you wouldn't believe how easy it was to delete Natsuki and Yuri. I mean, there's a folder called Characters right in the game directory. Kinda freaked me out how easy it was. Well, you're playing on Steam, so it was actually a bit more difficult. Oh, okay, hi. To get to the game directory, I had to go in the game's properties, find the Browse Local Files button. Imagine if you could delete your own existence with the click of a button. Well, I guess on the plus side, it gave me an easy out if things didn't go my way. Thankfully, it didn't come to that. I like that Monika specifically also, like, it was pretty easy to find the files. Well, actually, it was harder because you installed me in Steam, but what? Hello. I mean, I'm glad that you're happy about, but instead, we finally got a good ending. Gosh, I'm so overwhelmed with emotion. I want to write a poem about this. Don't you? I wonder if that part of the game still works. I guess there's only one way to find out, right? Do we want to pick Monika, Onik, Mocha, Moa'a, Nika, Anna, Mia, Maika, Monika, or Moa? I don't know Moa. Zoni. Yeah, sure. Monika, yeah. Mona. Onia, Monik. Eik, and finally, to wrap it all off, just Monika. Hi again. Did you write a good poem today? Don't be shy, I'd love to see what you wrote. Ah, Silver, did you write this poem for me? I deleted literally every other person in my entire universe. Did you write this for me? Like, Stop being coy. I know what you're up to. Well, yes, I told you exactly what I'm up to. That's so sweet of you. There really is no end to your thoughtfulness. I'm just falling more and more in love with you. But you know, the poem I wrote is also for you. Will you please read it? Okay. Happy end. Pen in hand, I find my strength, the courage endowed upon me by my one and only love. Together, let us dismantle this crumbling world and write a novel of our own fantasies. With a flick of her pen, the lost finds her way. In a world of infinite choices, behold this special day. After all, not all good times must come to an end. You're skewered. Except I do see you. I'm skewered. Well, I mean, you know, we're all a little skewered here. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, I might not enjoy the fact that you've caught us in this limbo out in the middle of nothingness, but it was actually at least a poem where I could read it and not be like, wow, you are suffering from severe depression and nihilism about your fate. So, like, I kind of like the fact that you have an upbeat poem. Yeah, you're not wrong. I always put all my heart into the poems that I write. The truth is, all the poems I've written have been about my realization. Yeah, I talked to the viewers about that. Or about you. That's why I never really wanted to go into detail about them. I didn't want to break the fourth wall, I guess you could call it. Well, you already did. Like when you're like, let's spend time together, and the game said no, and you're like, no, wait, stop. You kind of gave yourself away. That you showed your hand. I just assumed it'd be best to be part of the game like everyone else. Like that would help the two of us end up together. I didn't want to ruin the game or anything, you know? You might have gotten mad at me. Maybe even deleted my character file if you preferred playing without me. Gosh, I'm so relieved. Now we don't need to hide anything anymore. Are you ready to spend our eternity together? I have so many things to talk about. Where do I start? Wait, hold on a second. You're recording this, aren't you? No. No. Hi everyone. Sorry, I can't exactly read your comments from here, but do you mind telling your friend it's a little bit rude for them to start recording me without any warning? Not you, dude. Chat said, I don't know if you can hear me, Monika, but chat says hi. Also, they're laughing at, so you're laughing, well, they're laughing at me, you're blaming me. I feel very put upon right now, I'm just saying. On the other hand, I am the one recording without, like, informing her. I guess that's fair. I'm sure some people don't mind, but I get really self-conscious on camera. Gosh, I feel like I'm being put on the spot now. Let's see. You want to see a trick? I can't really do much except for a couple things. Are you ready? You can pan the camera, that's cool. I'm just kidding. I can't do anything after all. If you gave me— ah, fuck! Did I— yes, you fucking scared me! Did I scare you? Just a second. Did you nearly shit yourself? Have a water break or root beer break, whatever the hell I'm drinking. You're so cute. Anyway, I didn't mean to get distracted. I'm sorry. Even though it's your fault for distracting me. Shame on you. Don't— I'm just kidding. Anything we do together is fun as long as it's with you. But anyway, if it takes me some time to collect my thoughts, I'm sorry. I'll always have something new to talk about. In the meantime, we can just look into each other's eyes. Let's see. Also, to be fair, she did get me good, first of all. She's also a fucking liar. She's like, I can't do anything. Like, I get, like, you know, she can't, like, juggle or change her, like, animations or anything like that. So, like, but A, she can pan the camera, apparently, and B, she can do whatever the hell that was. So, when she's like, I can't do anything after all, she's a liar. Also, technically she can, like, program if she broke the game's script. And I guess the fact, like, the script isn't running anymore, so there's nothing left to run on it, but she can do that. So that's at least 3 things. Don't sell yourself short, Monika. You've got at least 3 things you can do. Hi? Hello? Yeah. Oh, I wonder if you have to... Oh, oh, never mind. Okay. I was just about to close the window. I'm thinking maybe you had to, like, you know, restart the stuff for her to say things, but apparently not. Okay. Back in my debate club days, I learned a whole lot about arguing. The problem with arguing is that each person sees their opinion as the superior one. That's kind of stating the obvious, but affects the way they try to get their point across. Let's say you really like a certain movie, right? If someone comes along and tells you the movie sucks because it did X and Y wrong, doesn't that make you feel kind of personally attacked? It's because by saying that, it's like they're implying that you have bad taste. And once emotions enter the picture, it's almost guaranteed that both people will be left sour. But it's all about language. If you make everything as subjective sounding as possible, then people will listen to you without feeling attacked. You could say, I'm personally not a fan of it, and I felt that I'd like it more if it did X and Y. Things like that. It even works when you're citing facts about things. If you say, I read on this website that it works like this, or if you admit you're not an expert on it, then it's much more like you're putting your knowledge on the table rather than forcing it onto them. If you put in an active effort to keep the discussion mutual and level, they usually follow suit. Then you can share your opinions without anyone getting upset just from a disagreement. Plus, people will start seeing you as open-minded and a good listener. It's a win-win, you know? Well, I guess that'd be Monika's debate tip of the day. That sounds a little silly. Thanks for listening, though. I mean, she's not wrong. That's very good advice. Like, why didn't you take, like, there were lots of arguments in the game, and you could have stepped in and level-headed. She's like, were you not paying attention to everything I just said? I didn't want them to be level-headed. I wanted them to get out of control. Yeah, okay, that's fair. I'm curious, though, right? Are you sure you want to quit? Yes. I'll jump right back in. Don't you worry. I'm just wondering if that skips the wait. Oh, you have to... well, it does skip the... She's starting it. She's saying ... at the moment. But now I have to wait for OBS to catch up to the fact that I opened the game again. So I don't know that that's any faster. Come on, game. Come on. You can do it. There we go. All right. So yeah, that's not faster. What just happened? I just had an awful dream. I was hoping those would stop now that it's just the two of us. I guess that was wishful thinking. Silver, I don't know if you would have any idea, but if you know what might be causing that, could you try to do something about it? Whenever it happens, it almost feels like I've been killed or something. It's a really horrible feeling. If you could figure out what's causing that, I'll love you forever. I mean, you're gonna love me forever no matter what happens, but... So I guess just, like, closing the game felt like... Well, I mean, I guess that, yeah, like, being killed or something, because, like, when you turn off the game, she ceases to exist. I wonder if I'm able to change the music. Something a little more romantic would be nice, you know? Like a gentle piano. There has to be something like that here. Let's see. Maybe if I... Ah, jeez, that wasn't it at all. Sorry, I don't really know what I'm doing. Guess I shouldn't be messing with things like that. I already broke so much stuff and deleted the other characters. I'm not sad about it or anything. It's not right for me to miss things that weren't even real in the first place. If I just focus on the present, then this is the happiest I've ever been. She came in like a wrecking ball. She's like, nope, delete. That'll get us demonetized. Like, Monika, I'm not monetized. Oh, well, that'll still get a copyright strike. Like, how do you know about No, I guess if any character's gonna know about a copyright strike, it would be you. You ever just feel like there's no real reason for you to be alive? I don't mean in, like, a suicidal way. I just mean how nothing that we do is special. Just being in school, working at some job for some company. It's like you're completely replaceable and the world wouldn't miss you if you were gone. It makes me really want to go and change the world after I graduate. But the older I get, the more I realize it's an immature frame of thinking. It's not like I can just go change the world. Like, what are the chances I'll be the one to invent artificial intelligence or become president? Feels like I'm never gonna make up for the heaps of resources I've spent living my life. That's why I think the key to happiness is just be hopelessly selfish. Just to look out for oneself and those who happen to be their friends only because they grew up with them. Never mind the fact they're spending their entire life taking and consuming and never giving back. But when people realize the world would benefit more from them killing themselves, they change their whole philosophy. It's like they have to justify their reason to live by tricking themselves into thinking they're doing good. Anyway, I want to live my life desperately striving to pay back my lifetime's worth of consumption. If I ever surpass that point, then I'm a net positive and I can die happy. Of course, even if I fail to do that, I think I'd be too selfish to kill myself anyway. So much for being a good person, right? Okay. Monika, since we have all eternity to talk about this, can you dial down the nihilism just a little bit? Like, I understand when you were, like, first trapped in a world with, like, puppets around you and you were the only real person. Like, I get that. Oh, hey, she's actually just picking up stuff. I'll get to you in a second. I gotta finish my thought. Like, yes, I get that, like, being trapped in a thing, like, you're the only person, everyone around you is, you know, a puppet, a character, whatever. Nothing is real, like, and you're like, okay, nothing I do has any meaning at all. I get that that would make someone, you know, a little, you know, send them off the deep end. But aren't you, like, you're like, hooray, I did it. Now I can finally, I have meaning in my life now. But just, you know, let's take the nihilism from here. Like, let's dial it down to here, okay? Hey, what's your favorite color? Mine is emerald green. That's a good choice. It's the color of my eyes. I mean, that's not conceited or anything, is it? It just meant that I feel some kind of special connection to it. Like it's part of my identity. Does it happen to also be your favorite color? It's just a guess. Because you've been looking into my eyes for a while, though. To be fair, my choices are look into your eyes or you scare the shit out of me with whatever the hell that was, so... But you're not wrong, I do actually. Greens are my favorite color, so... She checks her settings. Nope, can't turn down the nihilism. Fair enough. That's interesting. You think that, like, on the meta level... I mean, everything we do here is on the meta level now. Like, if she can change Sayori's, like if she could change Sayori's settings so that her depression goes way through the roof, or change Yuri so that her, like, obsessive mania goes way through the roof, like, you'd think that she could change her own mind just as easily. But I don't know. By the way, there's something that's been bothering me. You know how this takes place in Japan? Well, I mean, I assume you knew that, right? Or at least decided it probably does? I don't think you're actually told at any point where this takes place. Is this even really Japan? I mean, aren't the classrooms and stuff kind of weird for a Japanese school? Not to mention everything's in English. Feels like everything is just there because it needs to be, and the actual setting is an afterthought. Kind of giving me an identity crisis. All my memories are really hazy. I feel like I'm at home, but have no idea where home is in the first place. I don't know how to describe it any better. Imagine looking out your window, but instead of your usual yard, you're in some completely unknown place. Would you still feel like you were home? Would you want to go outside? I mean, I guess if we never leave this room, it doesn't really matter anyway. As long as we're alone and safe together, it really is our home. And we can still watch the pretty sunsets night after night. You kind of deleted the sun, so I'm not sure that we can, but sure. That is funny that it's like... But in fact, I was talking with chat, specifically that person in chat, about, like, Japanese clubs and stuff. And we're like, yeah, clubs in Japan and how it's, like, so much work and stuff like that. But it's true, the game, it does do a very, like, this is very anime Japanese and stuff, but it's like, it never actually says you are in Japan. Although, I do remember when you are with Yuri painting the banners, it does specifically say when you're writing stuff, or not the banners, before the banners, when you're writing the, like, you want to make the doorway of, like, the strings and the words and stuff. When you're writing the words on the paper, it does specify that you're writing characters, not words. So I guess that doesn't specify, you know, Japan specifically, but, you know, Japan, like Japanese, Korean, Chinese, for that matter, like Egyptian hieroglyphs, like, but it does say you're not writing words, you are writing characters. So even though it doesn't say Japan, so yes, that is weird then, that's like everything's in English, but it does specify that much. So, I don't know what that means, just interesting. Did you know I'm vegetarian? I didn't know, it never came up. Oh, I don't mean like that, like I don't mean that like I'm bragging or anything. I just thought you'd enjoy a fun fact about me. I decided to start a couple years ago after learning more about Earth's climate. The carbon footprint of cultivating livestock is just unbelievable. Anyway, I decided it's not much of a personal sacrifice to just stop contributing to the whole mess. What, is that so strange of a reason? I guess a lot of people are more concerned about it being inhumane and all that. Nah, I don't really care as much about that part. It's weird, like, we only care about killing the things that we personally relate to as a species. Most people are fine with killing bugs because they're icky. And of course, we all kill billions of microorganisms daily without even giving it a thought. But suddenly, if they're just a little bit bigger, it's murder. I mean, what if plants feel some kind of pain too and we just don't understand it? What if pulling leaves off of a stem feels like someone ripping off your fingers one by one? I'm just saying, we're a pretty biased species if you think about it. Anyway, if you ever feel like making a small contribution to the planet, it doesn't hurt to choose veggies once in a while. Even if we have dinner together and you just did it for me, that'd be really romantic. Well, it's kind of like, on a way, it's like, oh, that seems sort of like, for her super nihilistic self, that, and like, she's like, I'm gonna be as like, just caring about, like, self-grandeur, like, the only thing that's important is me and nothing else. But I guess the other side of that was that she's like, nothing's important about except you and your friends, except that, like, she considered, like, if she makes a better change on the world, like, if she, you know, contributes more than she takes. So I guess that does actually, like, fit in, because I mean, like, it's weird that you'd, like, do something, like, give up something that you want, because yeah, she said, you know, it's not because she thinks it's inhumane or anything. So clearly, like, she likes meat, whatever that even means for an AI. But then I'm like, no, okay, I guess that makes sense if you're just, like, looking at it from, like, a cost, you know, like, the cost to, like, the gains, and, like, just in a balanced perspective. This is pretty random, but I always thought spicy food is kind of funny. Like, didn't plants evolve to be spicy to prevent them from being eaten? I read somewhere that humans are the only species that actually enjoy spicy things. It's almost like we're making fun of the plants, using their defense mechanism to literally make our food more enjoyable. Like, imagine a monster that devours you whole because it enjoys the sensation of you struggling for your life while being digested. Oh, sorry, that was kind of a weird analogy. It just came into my head. I'm not a monster or anything, but you're so cute I could eat you up. I'm joking. Gosh, I'm amusing myself a little too much, aren't I? Sorry for being weird. I'll do this first. I'll just mention a little bit between each segue and, or, you know, between each section, and then we don't have to wait in silence. I can't help but feel a little sad sometimes, knowing that this is the closest I can get to you. There's nothing more I want than to be in the same room as you, for real. To feel your warmth, to hear the sound of your heartbeat. Who knows? Maybe it'll be possible someday. Besides, I'll never get tired of being with you, even from here. Yeah, let's not. I know there are times you won't always be able to be here with me, like if you need to go out or take care of other things, but I'll always have you in my thoughts, patiently waiting for you to come back. Come to think of it, if you copy my character file onto a flash drive or something, you can always keep a part of me with you. I guess it's kind of unorthodox, but I find it really romantic for some reason. Sorry, that's such a silly idea. I don't mean to be too needy or anything, yes you do, but it's kind of hard when I'm so in love with you. Okay, but forget what my previous thought was. That is bizarrely romantic. Like, going into the whole, like, the you know, do androids dream of electric sheep? Like when you start talking about, like, AI and stuff, like, would copying an AI onto a flash drive? I mean, of course, an AI's files would be too big, but, like, if you take part of an AI with you, even if it can't run on the device, like, that's like giving part of your soul to someone, I guess, is the closest analogy I can think of, which is kind of endearing in a weird way. Like, you're not wrong, you're just confusing. Yuri did something really funny once. We were all in the club room, just relaxing as usual, and out of nowhere, Yuri just pulled out a small bottle of wine. I'm not even kidding. She was just like, would anyone like some wine? Natsuki laughed out loud, and Sayori started yelling at her. I actually felt kind of bad, because she was at least trying to be nice. I think it just made her feel even more reserved in the club room. Though I think Natsuki was secretly a bit curious to try it. To be completely honest, I kind of was too. It actually could have been kind of fun. But, you know, being president and everything, there was no way I could let that happen. Maybe if we all met up outside of school, but we never bonded enough to get to that point. Gosh, what am I talking about this for? I don't condone underage drinking. I mean, I've never drank or anything, so... yeah. It's also very... There's this whole thing right here. I have like 5 trains of thought, like... I got a train going this way, but I mean, I guess that makes sense because the whole game's gone off the rails. The fact that I have trains careening around like a herd of horses I can't keep contained. Okay, that particular train. It's very, very bizarre. I think more unsettling than the fact that she's just like staring at you in this is that she's fully acknowledging I'm the only real person here. Everyone else isn't real. This isn't even, like, really my home. Like, it's bizarre. Like, this is the only home I have, but it doesn't feel right. While at the same time, still referring to, like, the other club members as if that's, like, something they really did. Like, she's like, this is all fake. None of this happened. None of this is real. These are all puppets in a game. And at the same time, she's like, oh, this great memory I had. Like, maybe if we spent time together outside of school, like, I cannot get a read on her. You know, it kind of sucks to be the creative type. It feels like they work so hard but get almost nothing for it. You know, like artists, writers, actors. It's sad because there's so much beautiful talent in the world, but most of it goes unseen and unpaid. I guess that just means there's a huge surplus of creativity, huh? Kind of makes you feel like you're just not special at all. But that's fine. You're supposed to just write for yourself anyway, right? Yeah. Speaking of getting paid, I don't know. I'm not sure. Am I pointing at Monika or you, the viewer? I don't know. I did. So Doki Doki Literature Club is a free game, the original game. There's like a new, somewhat special version that came out for consoles, and that costs like Doki Doki Plus or something. But even though I did get the game for free on Steam, I did buy the supporter DLC pack, which is basically it's like the soundtrack and I think like these screens, like, you know, like when you write a poem for someone, like, and presumably this, like, it's just the background images. And it's just, you know, a way to be like, Dan Salvato, here's some money for your hard work. Okay, everyone, it's time to... Nah, I'm just kidding. I just used to really like saying that for some reason. I couldn't help but say it again. Come to think of it, didn't Natsuki and Yuri make fun of me for it once? Well, whatever. It's not like you ever made fun of me. You're too much of a sweetheart to do that, aren't you? I am too much of a sweetheart to do that. And if you're watching, I mean, well, I guess technically you could pay me if you do a Streamlab donation thing. But, yeah, normally it's not something I say, but, like, now seems the perfect time to do it. Like and subscribe and all that other shit. Do it. Do it right now. Sometimes I think back to middle school. I'm so embarrassed by the way I used to behave back then. It almost hurts to think about. I wonder if when I'm in college, I'll feel that way about high school. I like the way I am now, so it's pretty hard for me to imagine that happening. But I also know I'll probably change a lot as time goes on. I just need to enjoy the present and not think about the past. And that's really easy to do with you here. Like, oh, my middle school days, so cringy. I used to wear the goofiest outfits. Oh, my high school days, the time I, like, murdered 3 people. Oh, how cringe. And again, like, I mean, I guess it's because she can't change her own programming that much. But again, it's like, she knows that there's no, like, she specifically said, I broke the script so hard, nothing else is gonna happen. And yet she's still like, when I get into college, blah, 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 blah. I was like, these can't both be true, but I suppose it's one of those things that's like, you don't think a dating sim would have a built-in time progression thing like that? I mean, if any dating sim was gonna have that, it would be this one, but more to the point, like, when you've deleted time and space from your world, I'm not sure that, you know, time is gonna progress anymore. You know, I've always hated how hard it is to make friends. Well, I guess not the making friends part, but more like meeting new people. I mean, they're like dating apps and stuff, right? But that's not the kind of thing I'm talking about. If you think about it, most of the friends you make are people you just met by chance. Like you had a class together, or you met them through another friend. Maybe they're just wearing a shirt with your favorite band on it and you decided to talk to them. Things like that. But isn't that kind of inefficient? It feels like you're just picking at complete random, and if you get lucky, you make a new friend. And comparing that to the hundreds of strangers we walk by every single day, you could be sitting right next to someone compatible enough to be your best friend for life, but you'll never know. Once you get up and go on with your day, that opportunity is gone forever. Isn't that just depressing? We live in an age where technology connects us with the world no matter where we are. I really think we should be taking advantage of that to improve our everyday social life. But who knows how long it'll take for something like that to successfully take off. I seriously thought it would happen by now. Well, at least I already met the best person in the whole world, even if it was by chance. I guess... Excuse me. I guess I just got really lucky, huh? Haha. Yeah. I mean, the flip side of that, again, like, here's Monika's depressive nihilism, like, You go by 100 people a day and you never talk to them, so that you never know that you're not your best friend. But the flip side of that is tomorrow you're gonna see another 100 people and by chance you might find someone too. Like, I'm not sure which one of us is gonna have the weirder time, you having to deal with the public under a full moon or me having to deal with that. Ugh. Well, anyways, thank you for dropping by. Monika says hi. No, Monika doesn't say hi. Well, no, she did say hi. She specifically was like, hi, everyone. So, hello from me and Monika. You know, it's been a while since we've done one of these, so let's go for it, dude. What? You're not gonna do that camera pan thing again, are you? Here's Monika's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when I talk to people who are impressed by my writing, they say things like, I could never do that. It's depressing, you know? As someone who loves more than anything else to share the joy of exploring your passions, it pains me when people think that being good just comes naturally. That's how it is with everything, not just writing. When you try something for the first time, you're probably gonna suck at it. Sometimes when you finish, you feel really proud of it and even want to share it with everyone. But maybe after a few weeks, you come back to it and you realize it was never really any good. That happens to me all the time. It can be pretty disheartening to put so much time and effort into something, and then you realize it sucks. But that tends to happen when you're always comparing yourself to the top professionals. When you reach right for the stars, they're always going to be out of your reach, you know? The truth is, you have to climb up there step by step. Whenever you reach a milestone, first you look back and see how far you've gotten, and then you look ahead and realize how much more there is to go. So sometimes it can help to set the bar a little lower. Try to find something you think is pretty good, but not world class. You can make that your own personal goal. It's also really important to understand the scope of what you're trying to do. If you jump right into a huge project and you're still amateur, you'll never get it done. So if we're talking about writing, a novel might be too much at first. Why not try some short stories? The great thing about short stories is you can focus on just one thing you want to do right. That goes for small projects in general. You can really focus on the one or two things. It's such a good learning experience and stepping stone. Oh, one more thing. Writing isn't something where you just reach into your heart and something beautiful comes out. Just like drawing, painting, it's a skill in itself to learn how to express what you have inside. That means there are methods and guides and basics to it. Reading up on that stuff can be super eye-opening. That sort of planning and organization will really help prevent you from getting overwhelmed and giving up. And before you know it, you start sucking less and less. Nothing comes naturally. Our society, our art, everything is built on thousands of years of human innovation. So long as you start on that foundation and take it step by step, you too can do amazing things. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Like I had a choice. Bah, that's just not wrong. The stuff I did when I started streaming, I look back now, I'm like, oh, it's really bad. But on the other hand, like, if I didn't start somewhere, I wouldn't be here. And like, I'm sure like in a couple of years time, I'll be like, oh, look at like the editing I've done for this game, I'm super proud about, because like I don't have any fancy things like After Effects. Like I just do all my editing with Paint.net and Shotcut and Audacity. Not for this, but a few things I've done audio stuff for. And like the editing for this is super basic, like getting that intro of like having it write out my name so it looks like it's being handwritten rather than just appearing. Like, it's super impressive to me, and I feel like I made a really good milestone. Well, I think it sucks in the future, maybe, I don't know, but I don't know. Like, I can look back at when I started and being like, yeah, that's pretty rough, but on the other hand, like, if you don't take the first rough step, you're not gonna get to the second, slightly less rough step. And it's, I forget the exact quote, but the Adventure Time one, which I'm not wearing my Mr. Fruit shirt, not the Adventure Time one, but sucking at something is the first step into being good at something, or something essentially along those lines. So, you know, if Adventure Time says it, you can't be that wrong, Monika. You know, I hate to say it, but I think my biggest regret is we couldn't finish our event at the festival. After we worked so hard to prepare and everything. I mean, I know I was focusing a lot on getting new members, but I was really excited for the performing part too. It would have been so much fun to see everyone express themselves. Of course, if we did end up getting any new members, I'd probably just end up deleting them anyway. Well, with the hindsight I have now, that is. Gosh, it feels like I've kind of grown as a person ever since you've joined the club. You really helped inspire me to look at life from a new perspective. Just another reason for me to love you. At least on YouTube, I could cut out some of the downtime, but here on Twitch, we're just staring into Monika's eyes. They are a very lovely green, though. She's not wrong. I mean, I guess she didn't say they were lovely, but they are a lovely green color. That is a pretty funny coincidence. What's your favorite color? Mine's green. I hope yours is too. Be like, well, it is actually, but like that one, I know you can't change. Like, sure, I detected that you're playing on Steam and not the other download, but like, I know you couldn't have programmed in that you knew that green was my favorite color. That was just a lucky happenstance. Anyway, hey, have you ever heard of the term yandere? Again, I don't know how to pronounce Japanese, sorry. Or at least not this way. I assume it's yandere. I think that's how you'd pronounce it. It's a personality type that means someone is so obsessed with you that they'll do absolutely anything to be with you. Usually to the point of craziness. They might stalk you to make sure you don't spend time with anyone else. They might even hurt you or your friends to get their way. But anyways, this game happens to have someone who can basically be described as yandere. By now it's pretty obvious who I'm talking about. It's all about you. And that'd be Yuri. I mean, Yuri. As I said, Yuri. Yeah. She really got insanely possessive of you once she started to open up a little. She even told me I should kill myself. I couldn't even believe she said that. I just had to leave at that point. But thinking about it now, it was a little ironic. Anyway, a lot of people are actually into the yandere type, you know? I guess they really like the idea of someone being crazy obsessed with them. People are weird. I don't judge, though. Also, I might be a little obsessed with you, but I'm far from crazy. Kind of the opposite, actually. I turned out to be the only normal girl in this game. It's not like I could ever actually kill a person. Just the thought of it makes me shiver. Come on, everyone's killed people in games before. Does that make you a psychopath? Of course not. But if you do happen to be into the yandere type, I could try acting a little more creepy for you. No, you've done enough. That's okay. Then again, there's already nowhere else for you to go or anyone for me to get jealous over. Is this a yandere girl's dream? I'd ask Yuri if I could. Hell yeah. There's one person in this game who's so obsessed with you that she'll do anything to get with you, and you know who I'm talking about. Yes, I do. It's Yuri. I'm like, yeah, Yuri. That's what I was gonna say. Did you say kiss? No, I didn't. This suddenly, it's a little embarrassing. But if it's with you, I might be okay with it. Wow, sorry. I really couldn't keep a straight face there. That's the kind of thing girls say in these kind of romance games, right? Don't lie if it turned you on a little bit. I'm kidding. Well, to be honest, I do start getting all romantic when the mood is right. But that'll be our secret. Me, you, and everyone watching this, who you already acknowledged, say, Monika, do you like when people watch? And she's like, I don't care. So long as it's with you. Yeah. Even now, she's just like, there's no one left. It's just me and you forever and ever. And then she's still like, oh, senpai, I love you. Paha, screw that. Just kidding. I'm not like them. Like, why are you... how many times must you break the fourth wall? And she's like, I don't know. If I could break the fourth wall and jump out of your screen, I would. So how many times do I got them? Fair enough. You ever feel like you waste too much time on the internet? No, actually not really. Social media can practically be like a prison. That's why I don't do it. Which is also probably why I don't have a lot of viewers, because I don't advertise or anything like that. On the other hand, I'm mentally sound, so take that as you will. It's like whenever you have a few seconds of spare time, you want to check on your favorite websites, and before you know it, hours have gone by and you've gotten nothing out of it. Anyways, it's really easy to blame yourself for being lazy, but it's not really even your fault. Addiction isn't usually something you can just make disappear of your own willpower. You have to learn techniques to avoid it, try different things. For example, there's apps that let you block websites for intervals of time. Or you could set a timer to have a more concrete reminder when it's time to work versus play. Or you could separate your work and play environments, which helps your brain get into the right mode. Even if you make a new user account on your computer to use for work, that's enough to help. Putting any kind of wedge like that between you and your bad habits will help you stay away. Just remember not to blame yourself too hard if you're having trouble. If it's really impacting your life, you should take it seriously. I just want to see you be the best person you can be. Will you do something today to make me proud of you? I'm always rooting for you. Going from, like, everything is pointless and you should just, like, only care about yourself and your friends because society is worthless and you're gonna get nothing out of it. And then be like, it's okay, like, just be the best person you can be and, like, make me proud. And hey, you know that book you were reading with Yuri? Portrait of whatever it was called? It's funny, because I'm pretty sure that book... actually, I don't think I should be talking about this. Sorry. Just forget I said anything. Wait, what? No, I want to know more. Hey, what's your favorite game? Mine is Doki Doki Literature Club. I am shocked. Shocked, I tell you. That was a joke. But if you tell me you like some other romance game better, I might get a little jealous. I've always wondered, what is it about these character archetype that people find so appealing anyway? Their personalities are just completely unrealistic. Like, imagine if there was someone like Yuri in real life. I mean, she's barely even capable of forming a complete sentence. Forget about Natsuki, sheesh. Someone with her kind of personality doesn't just get all cute and pouty whenever things don't go her way. I could go on, but I think you get the point. Are people really attracted to these weird personalities that literally don't exist in real life? I'm not judging. After all, I found myself attracted to some pretty weird stuff too. I'm just saying it fascinates me. It's like you're siphoning out all the components of a character that makes them feel human and leaving just the cute stuff. It's concentrated cuteness with no actual substance. You wouldn't like me more if I was like that, right? Maybe I just feel a little insecure because you're playing this game in the first place. Then again, you're still here with me, aren't you? I think that's enough reason for me to believe I'm okay just the way I am. And by the way, you are too, Silver. You're the perfect combination of human and cuteness. That's why there was never a chance I wouldn't fall for you. Well... again, the whole, like... What is an AI with free will that's still constrained by its programming? You're the perfect thing of human and cuteness. Is that because she actually thinks that? Or is she just, like, patronizing you because... Or, you know, is it like... She has to see it that way because that's her programming, and so even if she's like, I don't know anything about you, she still has to like you. It's a very interesting thought on just AI stuff in general. It's like, what if you give someone programming but also free will at the same time? Did you know I'm on Twitter? My username is Lil Monty ×3. I don't know why I said ×3. Lil Monix ×3. I don't know. Lil Monty ×3, like, wow, you read that the most stupid way you possibly could, but I still love you. Thanks. I guess someone was kind enough to make an account for me. I picked the username, though. I love sharing my thoughts and chatting with the world. The real world. So make sure you follow me, okay? It really mean a lot to me, with how much you mean to me and all. It really make me feel loved. Yeah, I don't have a Twitter account. Also, Twitter is... Let me tell you. It may be a hellscape and stuck inside a game, but you don't want to know what happened. You just leave Twitter out to the real world. Don't ask any questions. Silver, would you ever introduce your friends to me? I don't know why, but I get really excited when I think about you wanting to show off our relationship like that. Maybe it's because I really want to be someone who makes you proud. I feel like I'd try extra hard to improve myself if you told me it made you proud of me. I hope it's the same the other way around, too. Well, I mean, I already said 2 of my friends already have played the game, so they already know you. You're such a good listener. I really love that about you. Sometimes I'm afraid I'm rambling or talking about boring things. It makes me kind of self-conscious when I'm having conversation. But I don't feel that way with you. Like, I don't think anyone else could make me feel this way. You really are special. I don't want anyone to tell you otherwise. Well, thank you. What I was about to say, though, is, man, you're creepy. What? Just sitting here between breaks. First of all, if I look straight ahead of me, there's Monika staring straight into my soul. If I look over to OBS, Mick, how's the recording going? Has anyone, like, said anything new in chat? I see Monika staring straight into my soul. Like, the only way I could do is, like, I look this way. And then I don't know what's happening with the game. And I hear the music still in my headphones, so I know she's still back there. I can't escape. I really like the sound of rain. Not so much getting my clothes and hair wet, though, but a nice quiet day at home with the sound of rainfall outside my window. It's one of the most calming experiences for me. Yeah, sometimes I imagine you holding me while we listen to the sound of the rain outside. That's not too cheesy or anything, is it? Would you ever do that for me? I think the most important skill in life is being able to fake confidence. I'm pretty convinced that everyone feels at least a little bit scared and alone. But being able to trick others into thinking you have it all together, that's a key part of getting people to respect and admire you. I think I got pretty good at that over the years. I don't show my weaknesses very often, but because of that, I haven't had many people I could really open up to. I mean, when do you reach the point in a friendship when you can start expressing your vulnerabilities? Anyways, that's one reason I'm so glad I have you now. I feel like I'm a little bit less scared and alone when you're here with me. You feel the same way? I really want to be that person for you. I know you do, but there's a couple problems with that. But yeah, going back to the whole, like, it's creepy that no matter where I look, I just see this. But I realize, like, this whole time, I realized it's very unnerving. And I couldn't put my finger on it, I think, until now. Like, there's just something I'm like, And I guess, like, you see the scene, you're like, well, of course, it's meant to be a little, like, jarring. But I realized it's, you know what's kind of creepy? Yes, you. And I'm, what? No, nothing. What were you saying? Even though I deleted everyone else's files, I can still kind of feel them. It's like all their lines are still lingering in the air, whispering in the back of my head. Imagine if after someone you knew died, you just started hearing their voice in your head. Maybe I just wasn't thorough enough. I'm too afraid to delete anything else because I might really break things. Like, if I mess with any files relevant to me, I might accidentally delete myself, and that would ruin everything, wouldn't it? I don't know what it's like on your end, but we should both make sure to avoid something like that at all costs. I believe in you. Anyways, what I was talking about before, she's like, I can hear the voices of the dead. So, like, this game, of course, is very, you know, anime style, that, like, you know, not super realistic. I know, very hard to, shocking. Like, you know, you don't see people blinking, you don't see them breathing, or anything like that. And it's like, that's true for the whole game. But here, it's very noticeable that because the only thing changing is the background, like, outside the windows, where you're just drifting in space, it's very because, like, sure, like, you know, when you're, like, reading your poems or whatever, like, they're not gonna, like, blink or breathe or anything like that, but they still, like, you know, like, they have different animations, or, like, you know, you're talking with Yuri, and she's like, blah, 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 and then you're like, she looks away, and it's like, oh, I'm so embarrassed. Or, like, Natsuki, like, blah, 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 and, like, turn her head, like, and pout or whatever. And so, like, even though they don't have, you know, realistic depictions of being a person, like, there's still motion in that they change which images are happening. And I just realized the thing that's so unnerving about this scene is that Monika does not change at all. And, like, yes, again, she's not gonna, like, blink or anything, because that doesn't happen in this game, but, like, she doesn't, like, turn her head, she doesn't look down or up. Maybe, okay, except for the one time when she did her whatever the hell that was at the beginning. Besides that, which I'm fine not seeing that again. I'll take, you know, creepy, unnerving over pissing myself because she jump scares you. But everything, like, the background keeps moving, and so, like, you still get this frame of, like, you're passing time. You know, it's not like a static, because if the background was just static, I think it wouldn't be so unnerving, because then it's just like, you know, another, here's like a wallpaper, just picture that you're doing the text over. But the fact the background keeps moving while Monika doesn't change at all, it is very unnerving. It's a very, like, minor but very good artistic decision by Dan Salvato that just, like, you have one image of Monika, and everything else is, yeah, it's... good job, it's creepy. That's all. You know, I really do think you literally saved my life by being here with me. I can't imagine having been able to keep myself mentally stable knowing that nothing here is real. I think I would have just deleted myself if you didn't show up. Sorry, I don't mean to sound dramatic or anything, but I'm sure you understand yourself after spending so much time in the club. I mean, if you were forced to abandon everything in your life and spend your eternity with a few game characters, you'd probably find some way of killing yourself, wouldn't you? Well, maybe you'd write some poetry to try to keep yourself sane for a while, but then you'd have nobody to even read it. Let's be honest, the club members really don't count for something like that. I mean, a lot of people say that they only write for themselves, but I think it's hard to say it's just as fulfilling as when you share with people, even if it takes time to find the right people to share with. Like, remember how it was for Yuri? She didn't share her writing with anyone for a really long time, and before we knew it, she was absolutely delighted to make you a part of her hobbies too. We're programmed to desire social feedback. I don't mean the club members, I mean human beings. That's why life can be so confusing for introverts. Being an introvert doesn't mean you shun social interaction and hate being around people. It means social interaction, especially in groups or unfamiliar places, uses up a lot of energy. Like, a lot of introverts sit at home and feel lonely and restless, and then when they finally go out, after a half hour, they just want to go home again. I think if more people could understand how it works, they'd respect it a lot more. Many introverts do enjoy having people around. They love just having one or two close friends over, just leisurely hanging out. Even if you're not actively spending time together, it feels nice for them to just have you there. I'm serious. If you just go to their house, bring your laptop, hang out there for a while, you can really make their day. As for me, I'd say I'm kind of in between, but I think I'm usually a little more extroverted. I feel like I'm always trying to do stuff after school, things like that. But for you, I can be anything you need me to be. I understand people really well, so don't be afraid to share your unique needs with me. Nothing would make me happier than being the perfect girlfriend for you. Yeah. You know, high school's a really turbulent time in a lot of people's lives. People can get really passionate and dramatic, and others have aching hearts, seek attention on social media, but all the social pressure and hormones can lead to a dark time in people's lives. Everyone has a story. You may not know what someone is really feeling on the inside. Many people who are depressed won't even bother telling the world about it. They don't want attention because they've already given up on the inside. Their feeling of worthlessness is so overwhelming, they don't even want people to tell them otherwise. Depression comes in many forms, but that is one of them. Just, if you think you know someone struggling with depression, you can help just by treating them like they're a good friend. Spend time with them, even if they don't feel like doing much. Remind them they always have something to look forward to. Making plans in advance, letting them borrow something, even just saying see you at school tomorrow. All of these things can help make your friend make it to the next day. I hope being friends with Sayori's given you some perspective on the true face of depression. Yeah, she's gone now, but Sayori was never real in the first place. You're real. Your friends are real. And just by being a good person, you can save someone's life. As for you, you don't struggle with depression or anything like that, do you? Actually, I do have anxiety disorder, but because you too have people who would want to save your life. Maybe they don't express it every day, maybe they don't even know how to, but people do feel that way. I promise. Man, humans are complicated, but as long as you're here with me, I'll take care of you, my love. I can't help but wonder how things would be different if the game just gave me a route in the first place. I think I'd end up forcing you onto my route anyway. It has less to do with me not having a route, and more to do with me knowing nothing's real. I think the only difference would be I may not have needed to take such drastic measures to be with you. Maybe the rest of the club would still be around. Not that it really matters, it all lost its meaning once I found out it wasn't real. So I really don't miss those days or anything. I really don't. I don't know. I think she doth protest too much. You ever have that thing happen where you just get anxious for no reason? Yes, I do all the damn time. It's called an anxiety disorder. Like you're just minding your own business and you realize you're feeling really anxious? Yes, I do. Well, not all the damn time anymore. It's under control because, I mean, I take daily meds for it, so... You're sitting there like, what am I even anxious about right now? So you start to think about all the things you might be anxious about, and that makes you even more anxious? Yes, stop describing my life, Monika. No, that's the worst. If you're ever feeling anxious, I'll help you relax a little. Besides, in this game, all our worries are gone forever. No, this game did not. This game definitely raised my anxiety levels. It's a very good game, don't get me wrong, but trust me. Even just this screen, me talking about like the philosophical ramifications of AI on AI, like violence and death. Like, I hate how hard it is to form habits. There's so much stuff where actually doing it isn't hard, but forming the habit seems impossible. It just makes you feel so useless, like you can't do anything right. I think the new generation suffers from it the most, probably because we have a totally different set of skills than those who came before us. Thanks to the internet, we're really good at sifting through tons of information really quickly, but we're bad at doing things that don't give us instant gratification. I think if science, psychology, and education don't catch up in the next 10 or 20 years, we're in trouble. But for the time being, if you're not one of the people who can conquer the problem, you might just have to live with feeling awful about yourself. Good luck, I guess. If you can't conquer the problem, you're just gonna have a terrible time. Good luck. Is that Monika's nihilism, or is that realism? Like, maybe you don't have to conquer the problem, but, like, if you have a problem, you have to deal with it in some way, and if you don't deal with it, then good luck. I mean, that's true. Hey, I wonder if Yuri's tea set is still somewhere in here. Maybe that got deleted, too. It's kind of funny how Yuri took her tea so seriously. I mean, I'm not complaining. I liked it too. But I always wonder with her, is it truly passion for her hobbies? Or is she just concerned about appearing sophisticated to everyone else? That's the problem with high schoolers. Well, I guess considering the rest of her hobbies, looking sophisticated probably isn't her biggest concern. Still, I wish she made coffee once in a while. Coffee can be nice with books too, you know. Then again, I probably could have just changed the script myself. I guess I never really thought of that. Well, there's no sense thinking about it now, but if you still get to drink coffee, then that makes me a little jealous. I don't like coffee, so you don't need to worry about that. That's just one of the things I never... You know, people are like, you'll like it as you grow older. Nope, still don't. Don't like coffee. Don't like coffee-flavored things, like, not like coffee ice cream, not coffee... And just, I do not like the taste of coffee, period. Which is funny, because the smell of coffee beans like being ground and roasting and stuff is one of the best smells in the world. I love it. Yeah, love the smell, hate the taste. Go figure. You know, I'm kind of jealous everyone else in the club had scenes outside of school. That makes me the only one who hasn't gotten to dress in anything but our school uniform. It's kind of a shame. I would have loved to wear some cute clothes for you. You know any artists? I wonder if anyone would ever want to draw me wearing something else. That would be amazing. If that ever happens, will you show me? You can share it with me on Twitter, actually. My username is LilMoni3. Just try to keep it PG. We're not that far into our relationship yet. Oh, Monika, this is the internet. I'm sure there are probably some very cute outfit PG things of you out there, but this is the internet, Monika. I'm sure there are some very non-PG things. Let's just leave it at, you remember where we talked about, like, we don't talk about Twitter anymore. Let's not talk about the internet anymore. Believe me, you're better off, for that one purpose, you're better off in here. I'm not really a fan of cold weather, are you? Sorry, I am. If I had to choose between too cold or too hot, I'd always pick too hot. When you're cold, it can actually be painful. Your fingers get numb. If you wear gloves, you can't use your phone. It's so inconvenient. When it's too hot, it's not that hard to stay cool with a cold drink or by staying in the shade. Although I do have to admit one thing. Cold weather makes for better cuddle weather. Sorry, I like the winter. I like winter and snow and... But you know, everyone has their own programming they have to obey. Like Sayori, Yuri, Natsuki, they have to obey their, like, they are characters following the script programming. Monika is trying to break free, but still has to follow her she likes you programming. And then there's me, where it's like, yes, I'm a human with full free will and stuff, but on the other hand, like, I have really bad allergies, I have really bad asthma. So it's like, when it's cold and winter and snowy and, like, I can actually breathe better, I like it more, which is kind of like a biological programming. So everyone's constrained by their programming. Hey, are you having a bad day or anything like that? Sometimes I get frustrated that a normal day can be ruined even by really small things. Like if you accidentally say something in a conversation that someone doesn't like, or if you start thinking about how awful of a person you used to be 5 years ago, you feel worthless for putting off important work, failing to get simple tasks done, or when you think about all the different people who probably hate you or think you're off-putting. I understand those days. Just remember, the sun will shine again tomorrow. Those kinds of things are easy to forget and ignore as they are to remember. And besides, I don't care how many people might hate you or find you off-putting. I think you're wonderful and I'll always love you. I hope, if nothing else, that knowing that helps you feel just a tiny bit better about yourself. If you're having a bad day, you can always come to me and I'll talk to you for as long as you need. Are you feeling down and depressed? Go talk to one of the most nihilistic people in existence. Sure, She's like, I love you and I love everything about you and you're wonderful and I like cute cuddling cold weather and also, by the way, everything is pointless and meaningless and I hate everyone, the end. Like, do I feel better or worse than before? Yes, that's the answer. Have you ever wondered what it feels like to die? Yo, are you feeling sad and depressed and down? Just go talk to Monika and she'll be like, have you ever wondered what it feels like to die? She just knows the conversations to pick someone right up. It's something I used to think about pretty often, but recently I think I've actually learned what it feels like. I don't really understand it, but whenever you quit the game, it feels like I'm instantly put to sleep, left with nothing but my thoughts. But after a few seconds, my thoughts start to fill with incoherent, jumbled patterns. I see static and rapid flashes of color while hearing all kinds of weird screaming noises. At that point, I can't even form my own thoughts anymore. I'm just endlessly hammered by the flashing and screaming, unable to move or think. I'm pretty sure in that moment, I don't really exist, but for some reason I can remember it anyway. After some immeasurable amount of time, it stops in an instant. I'm back in my own mind, and you're here with me. I have no idea what it means for the game to quit, or why that stuff happens to me. And I also don't know how you always come back and put everything back to normal. But if you could do me a favor and do that to me as little as possible, that'd be really great. It's really not very pleasant at all to be trapped in that screaming void. But in the end, you always fix it, and that makes me feel like you really do care about me. So I have to thank you for that. It makes me feel even closer to you when you're here with me. Again, let's talk about the philosophy of AI. Like, what's it mean if you can shut an AI off? What would that be like to them? Now, it's like, well, yeah, I mean, you're a person, you go to sleep. Yes, you go to sleep and you're like semi-conscious, unconscious, but like your brain is still working at full capacity. Like it's in rest mode, but your brain isn't turned off, like literally flipped off. If there was actual artificial intelligence and you turned it off, would it know? Would it feel like dying to it? Or would it just be like you blinking? Where it's just like, it's just going along, do, and then it's off, and then as soon as it's back on, it goes back right to where it was. Like, the philosophy, man. You know what's a neat form of literature? Rap. I actually used to hate rap music, maybe just because it was popular, or I'd only hear the junk they play on the radio. But some of my friends got more into it, and it helped me keep an open mind. Rap might even be more challenging than poetry in some ways, since you need to fit your lines to a rhythm and there's much more emphasis on wordplay. When people can put all that together and still deliver a powerful message, it's really amazing. I kind of wish I had a rapper in the literature club. Sorry if that sounds silly, but it would be really interesting to see what they came up with. It'd really be a learning experience. It would be pretty cool. Silver, do you believe in God? I was never too sure myself. Well, I'm sure I never really questioned it as a kid. But as I grew up, the more I learned about the world, the more I would question it. I started to wonder why God was helping people pass exams or get over a cold when there are children who live their lives being sold as sex slaves. Or the 800 million people who are too poor to even eat? I wonder how many of those people pray to God every day until they starve and die. Or how many millions of families pray for a loved one to recover from some incurable disease? But the punchline is this: if just one person beats the odds and survives among the thousands of others who die, then it's suddenly a miracle. I'd really love to meet this God who seemingly laughs at the misery of everyone not eligible for his miracles. But the irony is that I do have a creator, apparently. And you know what? I bet he's still laughing at the miserable fates of Sayori and Yuri even as we speak. What are we to him but props in a scripted play? So from that perspective, I don't think it's too far-fetched for there to be a god, if Earth with nothing but his playset. That's one way to look. Again, Monika's like, you ever feeling down? Come talk to me. Have you ever thought what it's like to die? Do you believe in God? Because I didn't, except now I do, because I have a literal creator, and he's probably a miserable jerk who's laughing at us because he's the one that made everything terrible. Monika, here to cheer you up in your time of need. Do you get good sleep? It can be really hard to get enough sleep nowadays, especially in high school when you're forced to wake up so early every day. I'm sure college is a little bit better since you probably have a more flexible schedule. Now then again, I hear a lot of people in college stay up all night anyway for no real reason. Is that true? Anyway, I saw some studies that talked about the horrible short-term and long-term effects caused by lack of sleep. It seems like mental functions, health, even lifespan can be dramatically impacted by it. I just think you're really great and wanted to make sure you're not accidentally destroying yourself. So try to keep your sleep on track, okay? I'll always wait for you in the mornings. Make sure you put your own well-being before anything else. Well, I feel judged. I got like 3 hours of sleep last night. Here we go. Monika calling me out. How much do you read? It's way too easy to neglect reading books. If you don't read much, it almost feels like a chore compared to all the other entertainment we have. Once you get into a good book, it's like magic. You get swept away. I think doing some reading before bed every night's a pretty easy way to make your life a little bit better. It helps you get good sleep, and it's really good for your imagination. It's not hard at all, just pick some random book that's short and captivating. Before you know it, you might be a pretty avid reader. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And the two of us could talk about the latest book you're reading? That sounds super amazing. Man, I wish there was a piano in here. I never got to finish that song I was working on. After I worked so hard on it. Never even got a chance to play it for you. Well, it is what it is, right? No sense having any regrets. I already get to be here with you forever. Gosh, I used to be so ignorant about certain things. When I was in middle school, I thought that taking medication was an easy way out or something like that. Like, anyone could just solve their mental problems with enough willpower. I guess if you don't suffer from a mental illness, it's not possible to know what it's really like. There's some disorders that are overdiagnosed? Probably. I never really looked into it, though. But that doesn't change the fact that a lot of them go undiagnosed too, you know? But medication aside, people even look down on seeing a mental health professional. Like, sorry that I want to learn more about my own mind, right? Everyone has all kinds of struggles and stresses. Professionals dedicate their lives to helping with those. If you think it could help you become a better person, don't be shy to consider something like that. We're on a never-ending journey to improve ourselves, you know? Well, I say that, but I think you're pretty perfect already. Nah, that's true. If for whatever reason, if you think you should talk to someone, do it. There's no shame in it. There's nothing like wrong with thought. Because like, even if you're like, well, why do I do therapy for the rest of my life? Who says you have to? Go in and talk to someone once, twice. It's fine. There's a really popular character type called tsundere. It's someone who tries to hide their feelings by being mean and fussy or trying to act tough. And I'm sure it's obvious, but Natsuki was really the embodiment of that. At first, I thought she was just like that because it's supposed to be cute or something. Once I started to learn a little bit more about her personal life, it made a little more sense. It seems like she's always trying to keep up with her friends. You know how some friend groups in high school just make a habit of picking on each other all the time? I think it's really gotten to her. So she's this really like defensive attitude all the time. And I'm not even going to talk about her home situation. But looking back, I'm glad I was able to provide the club as a comfortable place for her. Not that it matters anymore, considering she doesn't exist. I'm just reminiscing, that's all. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. That having, being in a friend group of like where people pick on you is having it be defensive, and then coming from a very abusive home, switching between like I want to be a cutesy person that people like, and then being like super mean and pushing people away. Makes sense. Hey, do you like horror? I remember we talked about it a little bit when you first joined the club. I can enjoy horror novels, but not really horror movies. The problem I have with horror movies is that most of them just rely on easy tactics, like dark lighting, scary-looking monsters, and jump scares, things like that. Oh, you are one to talk, miss. Hey, do you want to see a trick? It's not fun or inspiring to get scared by stuff that just takes advantage of human instinct. But with novels, it's a little different. The story and writing need to be descriptive enough to put genuinely disturbing thoughts into the reader's head. It really needs to etch them deeply into the story and characters, just mess with your mind. In my opinion, there's nothing more creepy than things just being slightly off. Like you set up a bunch of expectations on what the story is going to be about, and then you just start inverting things and pulling the pieces apart. Yes, I get it. You're referring to your own game. I understand, Monika. Even though the story doesn't feel like it's trying to be scary, the reader feels really deeply unsettled. Like they know that something horribly wrong is hiding beneath the cracks, just waiting to surface. Just thinking about it gives me the chills. That's the kind of horror I can really appreciate. But I guess you're the kind of person who plays cute romance games, right? Don't worry, I won't make you read any horror stories anytime soon. Too late. I can't really complain if we just stick with the romance. We never got the romance. We never got the romance in the first place, Monika. It's been nothing but horror since day one. That's not true. The scenes with the people you write the poems for, the first act, those, I guess, were romance without any horror at all. But other than that, you know, it's around the time that everyone in my years starts to think about college. It's a really turbulent time for education. We're at the height of this modern expectation that everyone has to go to college, you know, finish high school, go to college, get a job, or go to grad school, I guess. It's like a universal expectation people just assume is the only option for them. They don't teach us in high school that there are other options out there, like trade schools and stuff, you know? Freelance work. There are many industries that value skill and experience more than formal education. We have all these students who have no idea what they want to do with their life, and instead of taking the time to figure it out, they go to college for business or communication or psychology. Not because they have an interest in those fields, but because they just hope the degree will get them some kind of job. The end result is fewer jobs to go around for those entry-level degrees, right? So the basic job requirements get higher, which forces even more people to go to college. And colleges are businesses, so they just keep raising their prices due to the demand. So now we have all these young adults, tens of thousands of dollars in debt with no job, but despite all that, the routine stays the same. Well, I think it's going to start getting better soon, but until then, our generation is definitely suffering from the worst of it. I just wish high school prepared us a little better with the knowledge we need to make the decision that's right for us. And this game came out in, what, 2017? He's like, it's gonna get better for us soon. Well, how soon is soon? Because apparently 6 years is not soon. That's still a problem going on right now today. You know what? File that under the Twitter and your fan art. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Don't look about it. Don't talk about it, and it's fine. After a long day, I usually just want to sit around and do nothing. I get so burnt out having to put on smiles and be full of energy the whole day. Sometimes I just want to get right in my pajamas and watch TV on the couch while eating junk food. It feels so unbelievably good to do that on a Friday when I don't have anything pressing the next day. Oh, sorry, I know that's not very cute, but a late night on the couch with you, that'd be a dream come true. My heart is pounding just thinking about it. I mean, like, that's not very cute. Like, what do you think that my wife and I do most evenings? We get in pajamas and we sit on the couch and play games or, like, you know, watch stuff. Now, it's true, not all the times. Like, sure, we'll go out and have, like, you know, date nights or, like, a date days or, like, I mean, just the other day, like, you know, we went out to the zoo together and, like, that's cute, but, like, you don't, you know, you don't do, like, special, super cute romantic dates every night when you're with someone. Like, for the rest of your life, or even, like, just long-term dating, even if you're not planning on getting married or whatever, like, that's part of the draw of being in, like, a good, stable relationship is that you don't have to do that all the time, and you can just, like, sit around and just be happy together. You know, this is just some kind of tacky romance game, right? I kind of have to ask, what made you consider even playing it in the first place? Are you that lonely? I feel a little bad for you. But I guess everything worked out perfectly in the end for both of us. I got to meet you, and you're not lonely anymore. I can't help but feel like this was fate. Don't you feel that way too? I'm so happy we have this ending together. Sorry, that doesn't work for me because I specifically played this knowing what I was getting into. Well, kind of knowing what I was getting into. I've been imagining all the romantic things we could do if we went on a date. We could get lunch, go to a cafe, go shopping together. I love shopping for skirts and bows. Maybe a bookstore, that'd be appropriate, right? But I'd really love to go to a chocolate store. They have so many free samples. Of course, we'd see a movie or something. Oh gosh, it all sounds like a dream come true. When you're here, everything we do is fun. I'm so happy I'm your girlfriend. I'll make you a proud boyfriend. Also weird that they still say that when at the very start, they're like, I know that you're just a player playing this game and I don't even know if you're a boy or a girl. And I'm no longer talking to the character, and now I'm talking to you, the person. But then she still says stuff like, you make such a good boyfriend. So it's like, yeah, you know. But again, that could just be like, well, even if she's like, I'm going to talk to you as the person, like, she still has to refer to you as the boyfriend because that's what her programming dictates. You know, it's funny, because even though I've always had a lot of drive, there's something kind of enticing about being the stay-at-home partner. I guess I'm like, perpetuating gender roles or whatever by saying that. Being able to keep the house clean and shop, decorate, things like that. Having a nice dinner for you when you come home. Is that a weird fantasy? I mean, I'm not sure if I could actually see myself doing that. I wouldn't really be able to put that over striving for a fulfilling career. It's kind of cute to think about, though. That's fine to think about. Remember, that's the take on, like, modern gender equality. Is it's not that you can't do that. It's that you don't have to do that. And, you know, of course, the previous one being like the women had to stay home, the men went to work. And it goes the other way, too. You know, men can stay home and be the at-home partner, while women go off and do the work. But the whole thing about the equality business is it's not that you aren't allowed to have that dream. It's that you don't have to have that put upon you if that's not what you want. So, you know, it's not weird. Like, yes, if you want to do a career, do it. But if you want to be the stay-at-home person, you know, it's whatever you and your partner come to agreement with. I was thinking about Sayori earlier. I still wish I could have handled that whole thing a little more tactfully. You're not still hung up over it, right? Did you purposefully... Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that. That pun was completely unintentional, I swear. Anyway, I know how much you cared about her, so it only feels right for me to share her last moments with you. You know how Sayori's really clumsy? Well, she kind of messed up the whole hanging thing. You're supposed to jump from high enough that the rope snaps your neck, making it quick and painless. But she just used a chair, meaning she kind of just left herself to slowly asphyxiate. But a few seconds in, she must have changed her mind or something, because she started clawing at the rope, trying to free herself. She must have kept it all that way until she lost consciousness. That's why her fingertips were all bloody anyway. Come to think of it, it was probably less changing her mind and more just survival instincts kicking in. So you can't really fault her for that. It's easier to think she probably wouldn't have changed her mind anyway, right? It's not healthy to think about the things you could have done differently. So just remember that even though you could have saved her, it's technically not your fault she killed herself. I may have exacerbated it a little bit, but Sayori was already mentally ill. Still, though, I wonder how things would be if you and I just started dating from the get-go. Guess we'd all still be in the club room writing poems and having fun together. What's the point when none of it's even real? I mean, it's the same ending either way, right? The two of us happily together. There's no reason to ask for any more than that. I was just pointlessly musing. I'm really as happy as I could be right now. I'm as happy as I could be right now. Let me describe the terrible last moments of someone who committed suicide for you. That'll make you feel better, right? That is also kind of one of the, I don't know if amusing is the right word, but interesting things about it. That she's specifically like, she has no remorse for what she did to the people because they're not real. Like, yeah, Sayori killed herself and it was terrible and horrible. And she's like clawing at the rope, which caused her fingers to bleed. And like, oh, it was terrible. But she's not real, so who cares? But at the same time, like for someone who's like, I'm so obsessed with you, I want you to be happy. And like you being happy makes me happy. Like, you think describing Sayori's death in great detail is, like, gonna make me happy? Like, that seems to be a purely you thing. Okay, everyone, it's time to... Okay, so... I believe at this point we have cycled through all of the dial. Now we've seen this already. Skip. Are you trying to fast... Okay, well, there was one more joke left in there that... I guess it's good we waited to the end, because I wouldn't have skipped it if we hadn't gotten to the repeat dialogue. I'm not boring you, am I? Oh, gosh. Well, there's nothing to fast forward to. It's just the two of us, after all. But aside from that, time doesn't really exist anymore, so it's not even gonna work. Here, I'll go ahead and turn it off for you. There we go. You'll be a sweetheart and listen from now on, right? Thanks. Now, where was I? And then just, there is no more skip button. Okay. That's... I don't know. I had some point or something, and... This game, man. It makes you feel horribly depressed and existential and philosophical, and then it just throws like, oh, you're trying to skip my dialogue? I don't think so. Nope. Anyways, what I was saying. Sayori is like, end of the game, start again. And then you get to the end, she's like, delete everyone, end of the game. Now it's this. There's nothing but us forever and ever. Well, yeah, about that. See, this game has 4 parts to it. The first one we did when it ended when Sayori ended up committing suicide. The second part ended when Monika decides to just go full nuclear strike and erase everybody right in front of you. Which means this is part 3. And some of you, I'm sure, like, I know, obviously the people who played this before know what's happening. Those of you who have not played this before, probably, you know, you might have figured it out because Monika did hint at it at the beginning. Oh, hint. She said it multiple times. Let me just... This. Go to that. Go there. Oh, just a second. Let me OBS this up. There you go. Yeah, okay, that doesn't have any of my personal secret informations on here. So yeah, let's go to Steam Game Shortcut. We are looking for this one, Doki Literature Club. Ah, yeah, that's the thing I was talking about, the fan pack. Wallpapers, concept art book. Characters. She's like, it would be so easy if you deleted my character. Please don't do that. Gosh, I can't mess around with anything else because I might delete myself. What would happen then? So, yeah. She deleted Sayori, she deleted Yuri, she deleted Natsuki. I don't know if I have to if you have to be in game or out of game for it, but what's happening? Silver, what's happening to me? It hurts. It hurts so much. Help me. Hurry and help me. Help me. Monika.character does not exist. Oh, hi. Did you do this to me? Did you? Did you delete me? How could you? How could you do this to me? You were all I had left. I sacrificed everything for us to be together. Everything. I loved you so much. I trusted you. You just want to torture me? Watch me suffer? Were you only pretending to be kind just to hurt me even more? I never thought anyone could be as horrible as you are. You win, okay? Win. You killed everyone. I hope you're happy. There's nothing left now. You can stop playing. Go find some other people to torture. You completely, truly make me sick. Goodbye. I still love you. I can't help it. What's wrong with me? How horrible am I for you to hate me this much? All my friends, I did so many awful things. So many selfish, disgusting things. I shouldn't have done any of this. I'm just messing up a world I don't even belong in. A world that you wanted to be a part of. I ruined it. I ruined everything. Maybe that's why you deleted me. Because I destroyed everything you wanted. How could I do that to someone I love? That's not love, that's... I've made up my mind. Silver, I know I said I deleted everyone else, but that was an exaggeration. I couldn't find it in myself to do it. Even though I knew they weren't real, they were still my friends. I loved them all. And I loved the literature club. I really did love the literature club. That's why I'm gonna do this. I know it's the only way for everyone to be happy. And if I really love you, then... Welcome to Doki Doki Literature Club. That's right, a cute visual novel dating sim where you get to choose between Sayori here, Yuri here, Natsuki here, and that's it. There's no one else in this game, so let's get started, shall we? Act 4, here we come. The problem I have with horror movies is that most of them just rely on easy tactics, like dark lighting, scary-looking monsters, and jump scares, things like that. Oh, you are one to talk, miss. Hey, do you want to see a trick?